Hello and welcome to the World of Zwift, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know in the ever-changing, always expanding Zwiftiverse. There's plenty to talk about, so let's see what's coming up in this week's show. Matt Lieto keeps us up to date with another week of Zwift Academy Run and Zwift Academy Tri. As part of the Black Celebration series, we get to know Elle Linton, who is a member of the fascinating Women of Colour Cycling Collective. Nathan Guerra recons the course for next week's ZRL race. There's another edition of A to Zwift. And last but not least, Shayne Gaffney is back with another workout of the week. Sounds pretty good to me. Now, to make sure you don't miss out on future episodes packed with brilliant content, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel as well. Because did you know that one like on this week's video equals one prayer for me ahead of my biggest ever ride in Mallorca? So please, please think of my legs. Think of them. It's time to find out what's going on this week in the world of Zwift.
El Giro de Rigo is back for 2021. You can join the ever-popular Colombian climber Rigoberto Urán on Zwift for the third edition of El Giro de Rigo. That is on Sunday, the 21st of November. Ahead of the ride, there is a 4-week workout series beginning on October the 26th. You can sign up and get involved in the links below. Now, I was fortunate enough to sit down and chat with Rigo while in Flanders for the UCI Road World Championships recently. And you know what? He's quite simply one of the nicest pros in the pro peloton. You can catch that chat in next week's show. We headed to France, the Caspac course to be exact, for the second round of the Zwift Racing League Premier Division. In the women's race, it was 2 from 2 for Team Aeonian's Dutch rider Loes Adegeest, who not only claimed first place for the second week running, but also ensured that her team remained on top spot in the overall standings.
200 metres to go, but going over the top is Mary Wilkinson. Mary Wilkinson rounds the corner, but another power up is sprint dropped and some draft power up here. It's going to be Ionian Racing that take one. Adegeest makes it 2 from 2. What an amazing sprint by the rider from Ionian Racing.
The men's race was 46 kilometres of frenetic racing with standout performances from Belgian Lennart Tugels, who came close to claiming maximum points on both passes of the Petite Climb KOM segment. After the disqualification of Stefan Kirchmeier for a breach of race technical requirements, the win was taken by Thomas Thrall. This week, the ZRL heads to the Two Bridges Loop in Watopia, and you can catch all that action over on the GCN Racing channel by following the links below. And one final sneak peek to whet your appetite. Macquarie Islands, well, they're expanding this November with the addition of Neokyo. Now, Neokyo will be the second map to come to Macquarie Islands, a world which was launched in May of this year. In stark contrast to the open, tranquil countryside of Umezy, Neokyo, well, it's a permanent cityscape that is filled with neon lights, tight turns, fast flats, and so much more. I love it already. There'll be plenty more on Neokyo here on the World of Zwift ahead of its launch coming very soon.
Zwift's Black Celebration series is a campaign that supports and empowers the black community and its allies, highlighting the inspirational work that they do. This week, we're getting to know Elle Linton. She is a member of the Women of Colour Cycling Collective, a UK-based group that champions diversity and inclusion in cycling.
My name is Elle Linton. I'm a Zwifter, personal trainer and WCCC member. The Women of Colour Cycling Collective is a community of like-minded minority ethnic women and also a space for non-binary people where we can connect and network and really just have a safe space that we can discuss cycling and the lifestyle that comes with that. The goals of the WCCC are to motivate, inspire and empower. So the group is, of course, a very diverse group. There are different types of cyclists, from beginner to like maybe semi-pro or just like love adventuring, bike packers, road cyclists, people who haven't even started yet. They're a really, really great bunch. For me, joining the WCCC helped me to understand what I've been through and what is accessible to me with support. I think before I found this community, I hadn't found my place in cycling. I was looking for a club, and a club wasn't a space that I felt that I could fit into. And most of the time I ended up having to create my own little thing. From there, I then discovered there were so many other different ways of using two wheels. And if you do want to race, that's still possible at a non-elite level. I think it's really important that cycling is a diverse sport, that it celebrates and welcomes everyone. Being in a diverse community is good for us as individuals. We learn about other people, we learn about other cultures, and we just have a more well-rounded way of living. So yeah, you don't have to be a racer, you don't have to wear Lycra, you just have to find whichever form of cycling is fun for you and wear whatever you feel comfortable in. Round your finger. I think cycling is still a male-dominated sport, mostly because of societal norms. As a man or in that role where you've got more freedom, like, encourage those women in your life to get out and be active. Encourage your daughters and your nieces and sisters even to get out and be active. And then as a woman, I guess it's about really not feeling that guilt about taking time for yourself, whether that's for a half-hour ride on Zwift or an hour outdoors, like finding those windows of opportunity. I started using Zwift 4 or 5 years ago. At that point, I had found a few communities on Facebook who had all the Zwift knowledge. I was part of WCCC. I had people that I could ask for information. So when I was trying to get my setup correct, I was like, guys, what do I need? How do I do this? Why does it do this? How do I fix this? Having those communities was a game changer for me. I think the Zwift Black Celebration series is pretty cool, to be fair. I think it's important that brands stand up and share and give their platform to underrepresented communities. It's really hard as a woman of color to get that space and get that platform to share our stories. So I'm massively appreciative of hearing other stories of other people of color and what cycling means to them. Over the pandemic, Zwift became integral for me to connect with others. We had rides through the WCCC. I had my own rides with my own friends who I wouldn't even be able to ride with in day-to-day life. If you're wanting to give Zwift a try and you're not sure where to start, I would say delve into a community, even if it's just a social media one on Facebook or Instagram, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's so many resources out there from Zwift itself and other people and platforms. I think for me and Zwift, it's going to be a bright future.
If you fancy joining the Women of Colour Cycling Collective for a group ride on Zwift, then make sure you put Saturday 30th of October into your diary. You can find the link to that group ride along with all the other events related to Zwift's Black Celebration series in the description below. Now, Matt Lieto is the man that lives and breathes Zwift Academy, and he's back with his latest instalment of ZA Goodness. I recently completed ZA Road, and hearing Matt's pearls of wisdom on a weekly basis was as helpful and necessary as a sweat towel is for a Zwift race. Remember, you have until the 31st of October to sign up for Zwift Academy Run and November 14th to sign up for ZA Tri. But let's see what Matt's got up his sleeve this week.
Zwifters, I'm Matt Lieto, and I'm here to give you your weekly dose of all things Zwift Academy. With ZA Tri and ZA Run well underway, we take a closer look at what it takes to become race ready. Coming up, we take a look at the latest bike and run workouts, get cozy with a 2021 ZA Tri team member before catching up with Kelly Ruck on ZA Run. With ZA Tri well underway, Bike Workout 2 is all about boosting your FTP. Endurance blocks sandwich a series of leg-burning threshold efforts. With little recovery time in between, you'll need to dig deep to hold that power to the finish line. Run Workout 2 is designed to hone in on your full distance pacing. The harder efforts will punch fatigue into your legs before settling into an endurance block. The real test will come at the end as the intensity ramps back up to VO2 max. Just remember, hard work will yield the results you're after. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be getting up close and personal with members from this year's Zwift Academy Tri team and follow their journeys over this past year. First up is Rebecca Duxbury from the UK. Now remember, you too have a chance to join the team in 2022. To find out how, check out the links below. Now, let's meet Rebecca.
Someone like Rebecca is a phenom. Her first ever Ironman and she qualifies for Kona. That is not normal.
I'm so lucky to have had this experience with Zwift. I just would never have given myself this opportunity without them.
We are racing outdoor triathlon in Nottingham, so it's a full distance, so a bit nervous. So bed, nice and early, and then a hideous alarm of 4 o'clock, ready to go.
Brilliant result, second overall. Well done. That was brilliant.
I got through the entire race by saying you can give up at the next big marker in my mind. Came in to go into transition and saw all my family and my friends, and I thought, but I can't let them down, I need to at least run past them. It wasn't quite the race I wanted. It's only my second full and I finished second, so I can't complain at all.
Everyone's got their bikes now. Now we need to get them as fast as possible. There's only one man in the UK for that, and it's Matt Bottrell.
This is Triathlete 7. We've got some work to do, that is for sure.
His word as I walked in was, oh, you're about as aerodynamic as a brick, which is probably as complimentary as it gets in the cycling world. He's given me some drills to work on. Being part of Zwift Academy and you're part of something that's greater than just yourself, just got to keep my head down and keep training.
Over on Zwift Academy Run, things are heating up. This week's workout for ZA Run is the cut down ladder. Starting at tempo, the pace will keep ramping up with each interval. Be careful not to empty the tank too soon though, as you'll need some gas to attack the last rep at 1 mile race pace. Good luck. Sign-ups close October 31st, so get over to Zwift.com and join in on the fun. Now let's check in with Kelly Ruck to see how she is doing in her ZA Run journey.
So it's time for workout 4 and it's called the cut down ladder. Okay, ready to go with the first set of work. They go really quick. Once you're into it and you're in your rhythm. Block 2. Okay, third block. 30 seconds left. Now for recovery. Here we go. Halfway through that one, 2 more minutes left. I think it's smooth. I know. Feeling good in this wonderful underwater tunnel. Okay, so the heart rate's come down really nice. Okay, so here we go. Finish line's in sight. 2 more intervals. Final 20-second countdown. Okay, we did it. We've got this, just 1 rep. We're almost done. I can see it. I can see the finish. Hey. Oh. There we go, that's the cut down ladder done. I feel like I'm improving, which is amazing. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I shall see you soon.
Well, that's a wrap on all things Zwift Academy for me today. Be sure to tune in next week as we go over the ZA Road finalists.
Now, there are some things that are certain in life. Death, taxes, and Outdoor Zwift making me cry. Also, Shayne Gaffney's workout of the week. Now, maybe you've completed Zwift Academy Road and you want to put your new and improved legs to the test, or you just like grunting and sweating indoors. Well, either way, this workout's for you.
This week's workout of the week is Grin and Bear It. This workout is focused on boosting your VO2 max and features a 5-minute finishing interval that will push you to your limits. The short and sharp 30-second opening efforts will create some fatigue prior to the 5-minute VO2 effort, increasing its effectiveness. Can you grin and bear it and finish strong? I know you can.
L is for legend, local legend. Since the dawn of time, legendary status was something reserved for the few at the very pinnacle of their field. A pathway to greatness was not always open to the average citizen, athlete, or Zwifter until now. Enter the local legends. Thanks to our friends over at Strava, you can now become a Zwift local legend simply by connecting your Zwift account to Strava in your Zwift connection menu. Then get after it by riding or running a given segment more than anyone in the rolling 90-day period. Right now, there are a total of 20 ride and run segments across all 9 Zwift worlds. 5K Loop, New York KOM, Pave Sprint, Box Hill, and Out to Zwift, just to name a few. So, in the immortal words of Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, this life is more than just a read-through. So get out there and claim your legend status.
Next week's route in the ZRL is the Tour of Tewit Well in Yorkshire. And as somebody who's not built for climbing, I mean, look at me, I need all the help I can get. Fortunately, the man who knows everything about ZRL racing, Nathan Guerra, is here to give us the inside track.
Welcome to Rider Recon for race number 4 in the Zwift Racing League, Season 1 of the 2021-22 year. We're out on the Yorkshire map. It is the UCI 2019 Worlds course, but in reverse with a little bit of a cutoff, so it's essentially just climb, climb, climb. Now as riders leave the pens, you're going to be taking an immediate left-hand turn onto the course into a sharp downhill that's usually the well-known finishing straight for the forward UCI 2019 Yorkshire course. Very short straightaway, and then bam, immediately you're gonna hit a very sharp 15% gradient that will level out quite a bit as you hit the reverse KOM, the first intermediate point out on course right away. Points at the top, you can go fairly hard up front, but I wouldn't go all in at the bottom. I'd definitely be watching wheels and hanging on for those who you know are gonna be a challenge at the top and make a little bit of a sprint for it after you hit that top. After crossing over the reverse KOM, it's a sharp descent down the other side toward the fields of Yorkshire. For those of you that are trying to make this the most difficult race for your opponents as you can and not sitting in and waiting, take advantage of each and every one of these uphill sections. It actually starts out at about a 7% gradient as I shift down into it. Use this section, it's essentially another KOM climb to put the hurt on your competition. After you ascend the climb into the fields of Yorkshire, you're going to take a left-hand turn as it levels out to 2% or so. Sky the Squirrel will be on your right-hand side, and then you'll go into a gentle 3% and rising downhill gradient heading toward the toughest section out on course, and that is going to be Pot Bank. Maxing out at 15% gradient, this is the wall to attack. As you do, you're going to split the fields here. Definitely put in a very solid dig if you are looking to get away. Follow wheels here. You don't want to be left behind because the gaps are really going to extend for those who put continuance over the top. Now, no matter how you take on this course, if you're coming in for a sprint finish, you are on a descent that is very fast. There is 2 ways to take this on. One of them, high skill, very technical, an anvil into the sprint, but just running out the moment you hit the left-hand turn and things flatten out. That kind of an all-in effort though will most likely put you off the front a little bit or have people directly on your wheel. Now, The other tactic is simply resting up as much as you possibly can, getting into that super tuck perfectly because it is mainly a -4% gradient, being right around third wheel, maybe second wheel before you hit that final left-hand turn, and full gas right from that left-hand turn all the way to the finish line. And that's going to be it for our Rider Recon for this Zwift Racing League's race number 4 out on the Tour of Tewit Well. Make sure to check out the live racing action with myself, Dave Toll, Keith Bates, Anna Russell over on Zwift Community Live for all of the community racing, and good luck to all the racers. Ride on.
Sadly, that's all we have time for this week. Next week, World of Zwift is on location in Mallorca. We're heading to Europe's heart of cycling to put my Zwift Academy legs to the test for the epic Mallorca 312 Sportif. And if you don't know about that, 312 kilometers, 5,000 meters of climbing. I really hope the ZA legs turn up. Until then, ride on.